What's up, Duelists? MD here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys some Blue Eyes White Dragon matches along with a deck profile at the end. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I had originally wanted to do the Blue Eyes deck profile live, but unfortunately getting the cards I need for that deck has not been an easy time. It's like, yeah, some of the cards are pretty expensive to buy on their own, and honestly that would be bad enough. If it wasn't for the fact that people who do have them are not willing to break it up. Like, it's either you buy the entire thing for $400+ or they're not getting rid of it, which is, that's been a nightmare. So in the link down below, I'm going to be listing some of the cards I need to complete the deck in real life. And if any of you guys wouldn't mind trading those cards to me for anything you might want, I would greatly appreciate that. It would help me build a deck much faster and give me a solid competitive deck for the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh play. Now, enough rambling about myself. Now let's get on to the matches here. And there's going to be a lot of good matches here. One of them starting off with a mirror match, and my opponent benched that Whitestone Legend. Very bad move for him considering I had the Blue Eyes Chaos Max ready to go turn 1. And that right there just practically got me game. So, yeah, I realized that was a very, very short match. But I just wanted to show you guys how powerful Chaos Max can be. And I chose the more Chaos Max version of the deck, which in my opinion is slightly less expensive than the regular Blue Eyes version, but both are pretty pricey nonetheless, but they are highly competitive. So you can see I was able to get on my Blue Eyes Alternative White, then on turn 2 get on my Chaos Max. I did not know what that Psy Frame did, nor was I going to find out, so thank goodness I had that strike there. So I managed to get my opponent down to 1,000 life during that time. And right here is going to go for the Kinka and go for a Formula Synchron, which I don't know why he put that thing in. I mean, he was dead regardless, but why would you put something in defense mode when you see a Blue Eyes Chaos Max? Like, I know I made a mistake once of doing that, but no. Lesson right here, guys. If you see this guy here, never do this. You're better off going in attack position and taking whatever normal damage is coming to you. Because, man, let me tell you, Chaos Max is a monster. Now let's get some of the OTKs out of the way, not including that one, because that was just a pure donk. Alright. Say no, wrong way. There we go. Now, I've seen a lot of decks like these lately with the Queen of Dragons and those new Cyber Angels, and there's a lot of them recently, but lucky for me, Blue Eyes White Dragon can handle them all. Now, I managed to do so many crazy things here, even though when he got that Zolkin out and the Stardust Spark was just insane. Man, not only managed to steal that, and that was basically my game, because literally, since he had nothing out, he did not have the protection that Zolkin would provide, and I literally just had to attack into my Chaos Max for the game, because Chaos does double piercing to defense, and since that's 0, that would have been 8,000 right there. So, yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now going on to the next matchup here, I faced off against the Trains. Choo choo! Now this one was a little bit of a harder matchup. The Trains did put up a pretty decent fight, but at the end, Chaos Max was just too strong. No, wait. Oh, I'm thinking about another Train matchup. Wow. I think it was this one. Was it Blue Eye Struggle? No, this one wasn't it. Oh, now I remember. I'm thinking about a Train match that I lost against. That's the one. Because I did actually lose to a Train matchup in here. But, yeah. So, Blue Eyes is very powerful, but not invincible. And this one was actually quite the struggle for me, hence why I named it Blue Eyes Struggle. Because for a weird deck, it gave me a surprisingly amount of trouble at first. But, as you can see later on throughout the video, I managed to pull through and fight it off just fine. So I managed to take down that one Xyz monster, and my opponent summoned some pretty strange monsters. And you see right there, that one to me was really weird. Like, I have never even heard of this before. Then again, this looks like a pretty old card. I don't know if it is or isn't. but I know it's definitely not something that has not been seen anytime recent. So went off with the Spirit Dragon combo, and normally they would be destroyed, but thanks to Azurize's effect, he doesn't get destroyed. So I managed to pop some stuff here and there, and destroyed a Digustal, but that's not good for me either. And which I'm not sure why he did that instead. Oh well, I mean yeah, I suppose because I would just be able to bring it right back anyway. But it's not like I was gonna be able to attack that. But thank goodness I had this Lancelot here, because let me tell you, he's really good. And I don't even know why I did that during this matchup. Like, I was like, wait, what did I do? Oh, and for those of you who don't know, with Lancelot, you don't have a choice. You have to detach to negate the effect. It's not a choice unlike most cards. So that right there was a bit annoying. But dude, thanks to all that stuff, I got out the Chaos Max in time. And the Lancelot going for game. Alright. Now let me show you guys how a proper mirror match is supposed to work. Not like the one I completely donked. Now obviously this isn't a 100% mirror match, but it's very close. So I managed to get the Maiden and Sage combo. I love that combo. Get me able to get 2 blue eyes off the bat like that. And as you can see, I had the legendary 3 blue eyes out in 1 turn. If only I had a polymerization. If only. And I'll be able to make that Blue Eyes Ultimate. Yeah, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Well, I don't know why I said making Chaos Max. I guess since this is a Chaos Max deck, I'm used to saying Chaos Max Dragon a lot. But, yep. That was definitely a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon moment there. And as you can see, my opponent gets out his own Chaos Max, which that is definitely trouble for me. And why is that trouble for me, you might ask? Because Chaos Max is not fun to deal with, but luckily I had him. Though he had Return of Dragon Lords. And as you can see, this is where I learned my mistake. I learned. But for some reason, thank goodness he did not attack right into him. So I went into my Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter to have my opponent banish some cards. And so my opponent gets out the Whitestone of Ancients. And can I finish it this turn? And the answer is, yes I can. Just attack right into that for the 7,000 and boom. Got the game there. And this will be my last matchup here with Blue Eyes before I go into my deck profile. And as you can see, this one was against Black Wings, which Black Wings are definitely a formidable deck. Not going to lie about that. I have lost to more than my fair share of Black Wing decks myself, especially with the new support they keep getting. It's like every little bit here and there, they creep in just a little bit of support. It doesn't seem like much at first, but over time it builds up, and before you know it, you got yourself a deck with some crazy support that can do some crazy things. Like this. But luckily for that, Spirit Effect was able to get my Blue Eyes out and not get shuffled into the deck. Because that is annoying. So, oh, and he got the Effect Veiler. Effect Veilers are never cool. Neither is that, to be honest. That is also never cool. But luckily, Blue Eyes was just tough. Just 3,000 tough. And that's right there where my opponent knew the game was over. So, yep. That about does it for that. And now we're going to get into our deck profile. Now, this is just the current version of Blue Eyes Chaos Max that I run. Definitely going to be tweaking with it a bit more here and there as time comes. But as you can see, obvious 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Very standard, obvious reasons. It's Blue Eyes, so. And in this version, I run 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Now, most of these versions run 3 of it, which that's completely fine, because there's nothing wrong with 3 Alternative Dragon. I mean, it's amazing. It's just, I prefer 2 because this isn't like the traditional, well, proper way to say it, it's not the non-ritual version of the deck. Like for a more traditional version of Blue Eyes, when it's all around him, then yeah, 3 of Alternative White is perfect. But since I only run 2, since this is the more Chaos Max version. Now let's talk about Chaos Max for a second. It is a huge, tanky 4,000 beater dragon. though it's a little weird, but I don't mind it, is that Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon is actually dark instead of light, which, I mean, I get it because his whole thing is chaos, but it's just weird because like all the Blue Eyes stuff is light and this one's just being dark. So again, it's not that I'm complaining, I just thought that was pretty interesting. But let's take a look at him. Tanky 4,000 attack, cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which that is amazing. 4,000 that can't be targeted or destroyed is not something you want to mess with. And what really kicks it off is the double piercing that it does. Whew. I mean, with 4,000 into attack position monster, you're going to be doing a lot of damage as it is, but on top of double to defense, that just like punishes your opponent for trying to defend. Like it forces them just to tank the attack with their monsters in attack mode. So yeah, Chaos Max Dragon is very, very powerful. And the best part is he's not really all that expensive, so which is why I believe that the Chaos Max version is slightly cheaper, mainly because this guy right here is not too expensive. Now, got your 3 copies here of Manju, just obvious reasons to search out not only your Chaos Max, but also your Advanced Ritual Arts and Chaos Form. 3 Whetstone of Ancients, again, very obvious reasons. Special summons a Blue Eyes monster when it is sent to the graveyard that turn, or you could banish it and get a Blue Eyes monster back into your hand. Now, I run Sage and Maiden. Now, let me talk about Maiden for a second. A lot of people don't run Maiden in their deck anymore because they feel she's unnecessary. And it's not that well, I'm not saying Maiden is absolutely needed in a deck, but I still really like running Maiden with Eyes of Blue, mainly because she makes a very good defensive wall, and not to mention the Sage combo with her is just really, really powerful. So let me explain Maiden first. Whenever Maiden is targeted by an attack or card effect, well, if she's targeted with an attack, you can negate it and special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Now, if she's targeted by an effect, you can still summon the Blue Eyes from hand, deck, or graveyard, though it does not negate the effect. So, yeah, very, very good. Again, and amazing defensive wall. Now, back in the day, before we had all this support, Maiden was really your only way to get Blue Eyes stuff out, which is why I was never really competitive until now. But Sage is very, very good. When it's normal summon, you could basically search out a light tuner and add it to your hand. So you could search out Maiden, Effect Veiler, or Whetstone of Ancients. But I don't really use that effect too often. The effect I do use is when you can discard him and target a monster on the field. You can send it to the graveyard and you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Now that's the combo I like to go into with Maiden. So I would normal summon Maiden and then do the target with Sage of Eyes of Blue. That would target the Maiden, and then Maiden's effect would activate. So not only would the Sage be sending Maiden to the graveyard to special summon Blue Eyes, but Maiden's effect for being targeted will also special summon a Blue Eyes. So that's 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons right there. Just incredible. Love the combo so much. And Maiden's fairly cheap because she was in a structure deck. So Maiden will not be hard to pick up at all. And now, Effect Veiler, just negate your opponent's effects and have some more options tuner-wise. Oh, and I don't think I really mentioned Dragon Spirit of White much. I mean, he's a pretty decent card. Like, he's your inborn way of dealing with back row, because when he's special summoned, you can banish 1 back row that your opponent has. And also, during either player's turn, if you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, you could tribute that and special summon it. So pretty good for, as you saw before, when a Castell was targeting him, and I got off the Blue Eyes to deal with that. Alright. Now I'm going to be going to our spells here. We got Return of Dragon Lords, 3 copies of that. Probably one of the best cards that we could have ever gotten for this. And this was in the Rise of 2 Dragon Lords structure deck. So this card, even with how ridiculous it is never really going to jump that much in price for that reason. Because they're in structure decks. So it's basically a monster reborn for level 7 and 8 dragon type monsters. And it also protects them from being destroyed by banishing it. So it's just overall an incredible card. Just incredible. And also we have our trade-ins here by discarding one of our level 8s, which we have a lot of. And we could draw 2 cards. And no, I will not be running Pot of Desires in this deck. I know some people in their Blue Eyes want to run Pot of Desires in it, which, oh Lord, I don't even know why. I do not even know why. Call me an unskillful player if you would like. I just do not see the benefit of that card. Not to mention, it makes the already expensive Blue Eyes like 10 times more expensive because they played at 3. Just cringe. I mean, I honestly don't know why they do it. Trading does the job just right. And also we have here 2 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon, another card that was really expensive for a while, but thank goodness we got the reprint of it in the 2016 Mega Tin. So these cards are nowhere near as expensive or hard to find now. So you have that. That's one part of the deck that you really don't have to worry about too much. And for my rituals, I run 2 copies of Advanced Ritual Art and 1 copy of Chaos Form. Advanced Ritual Art basically lets you ritual summon by basically sending a normal monster to the deck equal to the level that it is. So to get out Blue Eyes Chaos Max and I have this, all I need to do is send the Blue Eyes from my deck to the graveyard, so I don't even need to have it in my hand. But since that's not always a possibility, I run the 1 Chaos Form. It works like a regular ritual to where you can tribute this from your hand or field to special summon Chaos Max, or you can banish him from the graveyard to special summon. So it literally gives you any options you would need to special summon. So, and 2 copies of Twin Twisters for obvious reasons, back row removal, because he's decent, but he won't always do the job. 2 copies of Silver's Cry, basically, like, it's almost like Return of Dragon Lords for dragon types, but it only works for normal ones, and it doesn't protect them, but it is a quick play spell. So that's the benefit of that. So where it's essentially a quick play monster reborn for Blue Eyes, so very good. And also 2 copies of Dragon Shrine, and again another amazing card and fairly cheap as well. It's been in so many structured decks, not to mention the new Rivals of the Pharaoh Duelist pack. There we go. So yeah, very good card and very easy to come by. You just send a dragon from your deck to the graveyard, and if it's normal, like say Blue Eyes or Dragon Spirit or White, because he does count as a normal monster once he hits the graveyard, you could send 1 more dragon. So very good. You want your Blue Eyes. Honestly, it doesn't matter where your Blue Eyes are now that we have all the support, but they work very well from the graveyard. And last but not least, just 1 copy of Solemn Warning. And just a standard trap for now. Honestly, that's one of the cool things about Blue Eyes, is that it's very adaptable. You can make a lot of different versions, and it's not like a lot of decks where there's not too much room for creativity. You can like make it a lot of ways that you would want to. I mean, I know Blue Eyes is very expensive, but that is one thing I like about it. It has a lot of creativity potential behind it when it comes to its main deck. Now, here is where most of my trouble has been as far as acquiring in real life, the extra deck. Now, first off, I'm here to run 1 copy of Blue Eyes Twin Burst. You don't really go into him too often, but when you do, he can be pretty cool. You just need 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons to fusion summon him, and he goes by contact fusion, so you do not need a polymerization or anything like that. And he cannot be destroyed by battle, which is very good. Plus, he can make 2 attacks during your battle phase, which is amazing right there. Well, I'm sorry, 2 attacks on your monsters. So yeah, make it 2 attacks in general, that would be way too busted. And at the end of the damage step, if this attack did not destroy a monster, then you could banish that monster. So one way or another, that monster is leaving the field. And next up, I run 1 copy of Azure Rise Silver Dragon. He's pretty good. Being able to be special summoned, protects himself and all dragons that are currently on the field from being destroyed or targeted by card effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it gives you a lot of decent protection, but what's really cool about it is what I'm about to get into in the next monster. But one other noteworthy effect is during once per turn during your standby phase, you can special summon a normal monster. Now, a fun little fact about that, even though this is a Blue Eyes monster, I have also used this card in Dark Magician because of the fact that it's a normal monster. It does not have to be a Blue Eyes, so that's pretty cool. Now, here are 2 copies of Dragon Spirit, right? Another card that was expensive at first, but again, thank goodness this card was reprinted in the Mega Tin, so this card right here will be so much easier to come by. But it is a very good card. Basically, it says that no one can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time, so it really hurts the pendulum decks out there and anything else that just wants to spam special summons like crazy. So it slows things down a bit, and also it has several effects. Once per turn during either player's turn, if an effect of a card in the graveyard is activated, then you can negate it, and then during either player's turn, you contribute a card to special summon 1 dragon light synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, except obviously that one, but it has to be destroyed during your end phase. Now, see this guy right here has the effect where if he's special summoned, then he protects himself and all other dragons. So if you get out Spirit Dragon, if you get him out during Spirit Dragon's effect, Azure Silver will not be destroyed because of that. And also the same rule applies for Sparta Spark Dragon if you want to run him in there. I don't run him in here currently, just because I don't have much need for him. But if you want to run Sparta Spark Dragon here, you go right ahead. Because here, I'll show you guys what Sparta Spark. Sparta Spark Dragon, there we go. So you can see right here, you can target a face-up card, including this guy, and it cannot be, and during that turn, it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, including Blue-Eyes Spirit Dragon. So, have I been saying Dragon Spirit of White all this time? I feel like I've been saying Dragon Spirit of White. Oh, forgive me, guys. But no, yeah, I just want to show you guys this quickly because that's definitely another option to go if you guys wanted to. And this is the bane of my nightmares right here, Crystal Wing Synchro. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's very good. Very good indeed. But oh my goodness, he's such a nightmare. But he's very, very powerful. And very, very good for Blue Eyes, so I guess we have to run him in here. Oh, I don't want to run him in here though, but oh well, what can you do? And also you have one copy here of Michael Arc Lightsworn. Basically, he's the one that's going to help you get out Crystal Wing here. Because even though he's a level 8 wind type, the combo play is to go into the Michael and to go have one of your tuners out and get this guy out right here. Because he is very, very powerful. Okay, I'll go over Crystal Wing. Basically, what it does is when another monster effect is activated, you can negate it if you do destroy it, and the card gains equal to the attack of the destroyed monster till the end of the turn. So, incredible as it is there, but there's more. If it battles a level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls, then during the damage calculation, it gains the attack of the opponent's monster. So it's like basically a Dark Rebellion dragon that activates its effect when it attacks. So pretty crazy. And Michael here, there's not too much to say about him. You basically get him out with Dragon Spirit of White, and you pay 1,000. Then you can banish a card on the field, but he would get destroyed at the end of the turn due to the Blue-Eyed Spirit Dragon's effect, unless you use one of the tuners up here. And now we're going into the XCs. Another thing that's been giving me some trouble. Not this one though. Luckily, I do have this one, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. Now you basically put him on top of one of your other Galaxy Eyes Dragons, and you basically get to detach this card through from your deck. Then your opponent has to banish 3 from their deck, and very, very cool. Not to mention you can detach from it and it can take 2 attacks on monsters during the battle phase. And 4,000, like we said with the Blue Eyes Chaos Max, is very, very powerful. Yeah, and as I said, luckily I do have this card. Getting him is not too much trouble. Now Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Dragon. Another card that was pretty pricey for a while, but that is the glorious thing about the Megatins. Now you can hear me mentioning Megatins a few times, just because thank you goodness for the Megatins. Now basically you would put him on top of another Galaxy Eyes monster you control, because let's be honest, who in their right mind would want to use 3 level 8 monsters to get him out? And basically he acts like as a 4,000 beat stick that could just hit things really, really, really hard. And basically it's just also a detach one, and then destroy a face-up card your opponent controls. So pretty good stuff right there. Now next up going is a Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon. Now this one I do not have yet, so you're definitely going to see this one in the description down below. And this one's effect is that if it's attacked during damage calculation, you can detach material and it gains attack equal to the combined ranks of all XYZ monsters on the field for 200. So that's basically how I was able to get past that Blue Eyes Chaos Max in the mirror match, was by detaching and getting the attack of that. So very, very good. Now, next up here, we got Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon. Luckily, this card is very cheap because it came as a secret rare in the Dragon's Legend Unleashed set. But so far from what I've seen, he's pretty cheap and he's not that hard to pull. So, honestly, if any of you guys are out there looking to build Blue Eyes and having a hard time looking at this, trying to get Cypher Dragon, just email me and I probably have like 1 or 2 I wouldn't mind trading to you guys. So, but now he's pretty good. He almost acts as a Big Eye, but in a way a little bit better, but not really because you still can't attack your opponent directly. But what you can do is you detach, then you gain control of your opponent's monsters, and its attack becomes 3,000, which I'm not saying everything's weaker than 3,000, but there's a lot of things that are lower than 3,000 to be under your control. So, pretty decent card there. Now, 107 Tachyon Dragon. Now, this is another amazing one. Its effect is once per battle phase, you can detach material from the card, and you negate the effects of all other face-up attack monsters on the field, and their attack and defense become original. Basically, that means if any monster out there has an increased attack or defense, it gets returned back to normal. And each time an opponent's card effect resolves, this card gains 1,000 attack until the end of the battle phase, and it can make a second attack. And it's not just attacking your opponents, it's attack in general. So whether it be your opponent's monster or your opponent directly, it can make that second attack. So, and next up here we're on Thunder End Dragon. Not too much to say about him. Not a lot of people run him, but I don't see why, because I do like him. He basically acts as a detaching dark hole, kind of almost like, best way to describe him would be a Judgment Dragon, to where you don't have to pay 1,000. All you have to do is detach and you destroy everything else on the field. So, very, very good there. Again, I don't know why. I honestly don't know why people don't run him, because he's pretty good and he's really not expensive at all. Next up here we have Divine Dragon Felgrand. This one here is this has been a staple for Blue Eyes decks ever since Blue Eyes was like ever slightly relevant. I would say even so much to say is during like the early structured deck days, like as soon as this card came out, it was always in Blue Eyes. So basically you would detach a material, then you target a monster on the field, and its effects are negated if they have any, but it's unaffected by anything else on the field. So basically anything your opponent would try to do, you would detach, and then probably target one of your Blue Eyes monsters or your Chaos Max if by some miracle they have a way to deal with it. And this basically says, no, you're not going to deal with that. So it's very, very good. And got number 38, Hope Harbinger next here. This has been another one evading me, because no one wants to trade this one, and cringe. So if you guys want to trade this one to me, please do. How about your favorite magician channel here? But no, basically what this one does is that you can negate spells or opponents that your opponent would activate. And it's just very, very bad to face up against. And I just realized how long this video is going on. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm so sorry to be boring you with all this. I'm gonna wrap it up quickly here, don't worry. And last but certainly not least, we got Lancelot Dark Knight of the Underworld. Now, for a rank 8, it's 2,000, but don't let that fool you. While it has material, it can attack your opponent directly, and if it deals damage, it can destroy a face-up monster on the field. So, very, very good there. And also, what can be good, but kind of bad at the same time, is that basically whenever your opponent does anything, spell, trap, or monster effect, it says detach one XYZ material. It does not say you may, so you have to detach every single time they do that. So that's the only bad part about him. But again, he's very, very easy and cheap to come by, because he was in the special edition of, I believe, Breakers. He was in a special edition somewhere, whether it be Breakers of Shadow or Shining Victors. I actually think it was Breakers of Shadow. But if I'm wrong, forgive me. So there you guys have it. There is my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Blue Eyes Chaos Max to be more precise, but Blue Eyes nonetheless. I know this went on for a while, but there's just so much to explain about the deck. And for those of you who stuck around, I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for sticking through with me in the end. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the matches and the profile. So if you guys liked this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are all new to the channel. And once again, the Blue Eye stuff I would need for trade along with my email will be in the description down below. So if any of you guys have any of this stuff that you want to help me obtain, I would greatly appreciate that. So this has been Magician's Descendant, and I will catch you duelists later.